5 Millionaire Habits that changed my life. Although we are all aware that our existence isn't all about money, becoming a millionaire sure would be wonderful. In this video, we'll examine some of the practices and methods that people before us have used to accumulate money, in the ways that people who are financially successful live their lives. It turns out that just approximately 12% of millionaires genuinely have acquired the most of their fortune. According to our investigation into these kind of various practices today, this is a truly fantastic statistic. But what I learned from it is that anyone may accumulate wealth over the course of their lives. We won't talk about some of the cliché habits like reading, eating healthy, or exercising because we all know those are things that individuals who are financially successful do. Instead, let's talk about some unconventional habits. I discovered certain techniques that have made me enhance my productivity and help me earn 10 times as much money. Writing in a journal was one of the earliest habits I ever developed. I don't want to refer to it as that because on average, 90% of what I record every day is business related, but various people record things for different reasons. I believe it's crucial for people to simply express their views and have them documented on paper. There are several explanations for this. One of them is that it aids in clarity when considering long-term goals, particularly if you're aiming to accumulate wealth or you have certain objectives for yourself in the upcoming years. There may be times when you face challenges, difficulties, or anything you need to get beyond. In those situations, you may refer back to what you wrote because you have it there for yourself to review. For a better understanding of the direction you should be going, or had intended on going whilst you were jotting things down, have a look at what you were pondering last week, last month, 5 years ago. This is also useful for matters unrelated to business. In my opinion, writing down problems or struggles in life can be therapeutic for those who are dealing with depression. You know, I usually go through one of these every quarter. I just write down a lot of my ideas in them, and it really does prove helpful with everything in my life. And I think it can be generally beneficial for most people to just write things down, spill your thoughts onto paper. I review things at the end of the year and sometimes I laugh or think, wow, this is great that I've been accomplishing some of these aspirations I've been lacking here, but I'm going to start writing down more in the future. Focusing on producing rather than consuming is the other behavior I believe is crucial for people to acquire. And I discovered this after researching a number of millionaires. When you find yourself with some spare time, a perfect illustration of this is that most people, whether it be after work, before work, on Sunday, or any other day, prefer to consume information. Netflix, watching movies, or finding some other form of entertainment may be examples of this. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with watching movies and TV. Even the wealthiest individuals in the world do so. However, what I discovered is that many millionaires and billionaires prefer to spend their free time developing their abilities rather than consuming media. This may be something as easy as playing the guitar, but the difference is that if you concentrate on developing talents in your spare time, it will elevate your value as a person in the eyes of the world since you have more skills. To grow your human capital, this could be something as simple as reading a book before night rather than watching TV, but the key is to focus on developing your talents and being something productive most of the time. You can undoubtedly treat yourself occasionally to a movie or some TV, but try to keep it to a minimum so that you can maintain a constant emphasis on learning new things, developing new abilities, and improving your value to others. So, after reading a few biographies of Bill Gates, I discovered that he enjoys participating in a weekly event known as Think Week. Bill, the richest guy in the world as you are surely aware, engages in this activity. He recently overtook Jeff Bezos once more to reclaim the top rank and his total wealth of at least $100 billion. Bill spends a week away from the world in a cabin every year, cutting himself off from the outside world and using that time to read and ponder about life and ideas. According to what I've learned, the objective of this is to periodically take a pause if you're focused on goals or attempting to progress in some way. There are some people, like say, Gary Vaynerchuk, who are fantastic for motivation. But sometimes, it's vital to look up from the task at hand and consider whether you're moving in the direction you want to, or suitable, more efficient method to do this task. In order to really kind of be in a frame of mind where you're really clear on what you're doing, I think it's something that really does assist to step back and do anything, even if it's just meditation. I sometimes go for really lengthy walks, for hours at a time, to really just clear my head and to take a step back for myself while meditating and taking some opportunity to ponder. The fourth habit on my list, which I believe to be extremely crucial and only recently began putting into practice but has significantly improved my productivity, is block scheduling and regularly keeping a calendar. The point of all this is that for years, I tried to balance the numerous responsibilities and activities I had on a daily basis without actually keeping track of them. So, what I do today is straightforward. I simply fill out this calendar using Google Calendar on my phone. It's jam-packed with all I need to get done on that particular day. I still believe that having a calendar is going to be really helpful even if you aren't running a business and are simply seeking to increase your money and perhaps invest in the stock market. You won't forget as many of the Saturday parties you have to go since you completely blew it off and had 5 different things on your mind at once. I discovered that keeping a calendar is quite simple. You ought to begin doing it immediately. I still keep a physical calendar on my wall for this purpose, but I don't really write on it anymore because I don't always find myself at home. Instead, I do it daily on my phone and computer because it's quicker and more convenient. Some of the most successful people in the world, including Bill Gates and Elon Musk, physically organize their days in 5-minute blocks. This is for some real productivity. Not everyone will find it appealing, and I don't work in 5-minute chunks, but it will undoubtedly give your life some structure. It will help if you follow a schedule in your life. You don't need to schedule out when you're going to poop and when you're going to do all these other things. All you need is some sort of routine that includes when you wake up, when you start working, when you work out, when you're going to take care of certain stuff, and when you spend time with your family. As a result, rather of what most people do, they find themselves frantically striving to accomplish something. They experience all these diverse occurrences. They are abruptly getting ready for work, then they make dinner, and finally they eat dinner and they have to wash the dishes, and then they are trying to return to their work. But all they remember is that it is trash night, so they have to go take out the trash, and then they're starting to return to their work again. But all they remember is that they have to call someone to fix some problem in the kitchen sink. So they never actually begin working or concentrating on the skill they're trying to develop or the goal they're trying to achieve. Just bear in mind that setting everything out will greatly increase productivity for everyone. Networking is the final habit I'd want to discuss with you today. I ignored it for quite a long time. I initially thought that I didn't really need to network with millionaires or other financially successful people in order for me to succeed. But the truth is that, as I previously stated on my video, you're very much of the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Knowing that the people you spend the most time with will determine the kind of person you become has a huge impact on my life. Therefore, if you're around drug users, you may develop a drug addiction yourself. The argument is that if you spend time with individuals who are financially successful, chances are that you will also become financially successful. This won't always be the case, of course, but it is the general rule, because it will be a topic that will be addressed frequently when people are gathered around the table talking, or even when people go out, say to a bar. If they are with successful people, they will likely be discussing success and building each other up. And I discovered that interacting with those kinds of people actually helps a lot of times. As opposed to folks who may have recently inherited money and hang out with trust fund kids, I try to associate with somebody who are intensely motivated to achieve their goals. It's hard for me to relate to them because they probably didn't work very hard to earn all of their money. So I don't find it very meaningful quite often. I communicate with people that have achieved success or financial gain on their own, and I believe that it's just something I really enjoy doing. So, a fantastic approach to go about this is to just search across your community for real estate investors, have a conversation with them, and learn how they got started. Talk to anyone who may know the successful member of your family, and ask them if they would mind serving as your mentor or showing you how they achieved their goals. To find out what successful people did and get advice on what they're doing today, you may even go on LinkedIn or simply DM successful people on Instagram. Be careful. You don't want to need to hire someone to mentor you or go out and do that. That, in my opinion, is a lot of fun, and you don't want to fall into that. So those are some of the behaviors I developed that have helped me earn 10 times more in the past 2 years while pursuing a passion of mine. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate your support as this channel has been expanding quickly lately. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you liking the video, and I'll see you all next time.